Acharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhasha Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांति. So until verse number 23 we finished last time. So today we look at verse number 24. So Twayi Mayi Cha Anyatra. So you see the word Twayi Mayi Chanyatraiko. So you have to break the word into Cha Anyatra Eko Ekaha. So Cha Anyatra Eko. So Twayi means in you. Okay. Yes.
This seems to be a part of Vedam. Twayi Mayi Sarvatraiko. That's what we have.
Okay. Sarvatra. Okay. Cha Anya. Okay. So it is supposed to be Cha Anyatra Eko. Means Cha means what? And. Cha means and. So Twayi means in you. Mayi means in me. And Cha Anyatra means others also. Anyatra or Sarvatra also. See, Sarvatra means what? All. So you, me, and all. So Anyatra means Anya means other people. So Anyatra Sarvatra means excluding you and me, other people. Okay. So there's not much of a difference. I don't know why this part of Veda is there, but this is what is the correct one. So Twayimai Chanyatraiko. So the word you have to Chanyatraiko, you have to break it as Cha Anyatra Eko or Eka Vishnu. So this Vishnu is supposed to be, there's only one Bhagavan. Let's say Vishnu here, it means that which is pervading everything called Vishnu. Vishwam. Or that which pervades everything is Vishnu. And this Vishnu is in you. Twayi. This Vishnu also is in me, Mayi. Cha and Anyatra. So Anyatra, you can write Sarvatra also. If you want, you can write Sarvatra also. So Sarvatra means in all. So in me, you and all, and everybody, this Ekam Vishnu, Eko Vishnu, Eko Vishnu Mahadbhutam. See in Vishnu Sahasranama you will see later on. Eko Vishnu Mahadbhutam. So one Vishnu is present in the entire living and non-living beings. So one of the key questions people ask is, I can understand myself that I am Vishnu. I can accept the fact that I can relate that I am the Bhagavan. Because Vedanta teaches you that you are the Bhagavan. And you can accept the fact, yes, I can realize the fact. But how do I accept that other people are also Bhagavan? Is a question. I am not able to accept other people or see the other people just as what I see. Because what you see is with your own intellect. So when you see that I see myself as Bhagavan, it is actually not you see yourself as Bhagavan, you see through the intellect or the buddhi that you are the Bhagavan. I'll explain to you. See, whenever I say I am, so when you say I am, that I am indicates the ahankara. And the ahankara is happening in the intellect, in the buddhi, correct? So when you say I am, the am is actually an additional thing which is added to the I. So I am Bhagavan when you say, that means that the concept of Bhagavan is that you are Bhagavan, or I am the Bhagavan from the point of the intellect or from the Ahankara. You do not say it as absolutely the Bhagavan, because for you to be the Bhagavan and to say, you cannot say that I am Bhagavan, because it is not an attribute of knowledge, it is not an object of knowledge, and when you understand who you are, you do not say anything. You do not even say that I am the Bhagavan and you are somebody else. It is understood and the person just lives with that. So there is no discussion about are you Bhagavan or I am Bhagavan, are you Vishnu or I am not the Vishnu, etc. So this particular thing, Tvayi Mayi Cha Anyatra Eko Vishnu. So this Tvayi Mayi means what? You and me. So to understand this, to you and me, one has to expand or drop the am, the Ahankara. So if I drop the Ahankara, I will say that I am here. And you say I am. You say I am. I am. I am. So there are all I ams are there. Right? But when you say remove the am completely, then what you are reflect with only the I, which is the innermost essence of everything. I is the consciousness, innermost essence of everything, which is unattached to anything. It is free. So all I is only one I, single I. So that's what it says here, that to understand this philosophy, you need to expand your vision from the intellect to understanding the absolute I. So whenever we say that I can relate to myself as Bhagavan, but I am not able to see the Bhagavan in other people. It is a very common thing. It is not, and this is the reason why sometimes we are able to understand Vedanta better. So Vedanta works for you very well in terms of working your own things, controlling, etc. But the moment when somebody else comes and challenges, or somebody else comes and tries to put a question to you or tries to antagonize you, this Vedanta doesn't work for you. Again, you go back to the same thing. No, I told you already. Why are you disturbing me? Because that particular realization which is there is not fully sunk in terms of understanding what other person also is there. He or she also has got the same ragadveshas. So if a person, everybody is able to understand this philosophy, then you will be able to appreciate the beauty of it. So the wise person, what he says here, see yourself as Vishnu, see in other people also the same qualities or the attributes which you have also in them. So if you have anger, if you have lust, etc., they also have the same thing in other people also. And if you think you do not have them, it is possible that they also do not have them. See in that perspective. So the Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, Shad Ripuhu, 6 afflictions which are there, they are the one which is causing the person to get antagonized or unhappy about. So this particular word, Tvayi Mayi Cha Anyatra Eko Vishnu, talks about the Samashti Vichara, or where you extend the vision from Yashti Vicharam to Samashti Vichara. So Yashti means individual view to a total view. So you see yourself as Bhagavan. I also see everybody here as a Bhagavan. So I do not have any animosity. I do not have any anger. I do not have any negative feeling about anybody. Because everybody is also Bhagavan's creation. They also got the same attribute just like us. So this is what it says here. In you, in me, and everywhere, there is only one Vishnu. Vyartam krupyasi. Vyartam krupyasi Mai Ahishnuhu. See, Ahishnuhu. See this word. Vyartam Kripyasi Mai Ahishnuhu. So Vyartam means what? Waste. So in vain or unnecessarily, Kripyasi. So Kripyasi means getting angry or annoyed. So you unnecessarily get annoyed in where? In you, in me. That means I get angry unnecessarily because somebody else is actually responsible for this. So you get angry unnecessarily. He says, what is the point of getting angry unnecessarily? Because it is not going to help you. And you had used that word Tvayi Mai Eko Vishnu Anyatra Sarvatra. So if you understand the philosophy, then there is no need for you to get angry with anybody. You do not need, because you're not depending on them for anything. If you're depending on them for something, only you'll get angry. Supposing you say that there's an expectation from somebody that this person will do. Example I'll give you. A practical example, I just came just now from the kitchen. So you got class at 8 o'clock. So would you be able to do the dishes and be ready? Request. So, what I'm trying to tell you is, it is possible that you'll get this request. And the tone can come in different manner. So because of the class, so you think you can't do the dishes. So I presume that you can't do anything. So you're busy with the classes. So I said, okay. So whatever you can do. You can resist, you can argue, you can say that, why do you say like this? Why are you against my classes? So what it means is that you will get opportunity like this, you will get situation like this, because when there are 2 people, 3 people or 4 people who interact with you, you will get all sorts of things and you deal with it every day. So it is not something that because a wise person is very jnani, nobody will leave you. They will also criticize the person also. They will also try to induce the person to come for a fight or to get some comments. And how the wise person reacts, he is depending on the maturity of the person. See, one day, I went with my teacher to somebody's place, and one of the students, not a student, I think she just wanted to come and pick a fight. I was sitting next to, generally when I go with the teacher, I don't say anything, I keep quiet, because it is customary for the guru is there, the student doesn't speak anything. So you just listen, you don't say anything. Because they are supposed to handle how to deal with subjects. So the student, this other person said, why all these things are happening, Vedanta doesn't cure anything. People are fighting here, people are fighting a war. And so the teacher is asked, okay, so what? They said, well, what are you trying? What are you trying for yourself, or are you trying to get an opinion? So sometimes you just, don't argue with people because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean that you don't like them. The particular philosophy or the particular, method of, you don't want to get into that. So Swamiji will always say that if you're getting angry or if you're getting restless, or if you think you don't want to, you can walk away. You don't have to say anything. Because at the end of the day, your response is going to only affect you more than anybody else. If the response affects somebody else, are you worried? You are not worried, right? You are worried about the response yourself. Because if you respond to that, you are going to get a return response. And whether you are in a position to take the response in the right spirit, you're not sure about it. Is that correct? So when you're not sure about it, why do you indulge in that? That's why he says, Vyartam Krupyasi. So Vyartam, why do you waste your effort in all this and getting angry? Krupyasi. So Vyartam Krupyasi, Mayi means in me. Then Asahishnuhu. So Asahishnu means Sahitam. Sahisham means to be able to hold on to it. So you're able to have the capacity to manage it. Right? So sahi kardumba. Now you hold on to it, or you are able to manage it somehow. But sahishnu means you can, and asahishnu means what? You are not able to manage it. So the non-accommodative person. So sahishnu means accommodative person, and asahishnu means a non-accommodative person. So if you are a non-accommodative person, a non-accommodative one is, you will get people from different walks of life. Different people will come and say different things to you, deal with you. If you're able to accommodate everything in a nice manner, then life will be very easy for you. But if you are not accommodative, then you can get exposed to this kind of angriness or this kind of dissatisfaction. So what Vedanta does for you is it makes you very dull sometimes. Sometimes people like Vedanta, they don't respond at all. They'll just keep quiet. So it does not mean that they can't get angry. They can get angry, but they don't want to, because the moment you get angry, all the study which you studied goes out of the window. So what does it teach you? That anger is not something you have to manage. Anger is something which you cannot drop. So if somebody is saying that you drop the anger, it is not possible. Everybody has got anger. Everybody has got they have desires. Everything has got ahankara, everything is there. But a wise person knows the limits. He knows or she knows when to cross and when not to cross. So they just are in the boundaries. They do not trespass or cross anything there. So because they know their limitation, they know their powers, they know that they are, the sahishnu capacity. So what all they can accommodate, they'll accommodate. If there's anything they cannot non-accommodate, they don't go there, because they are going to get affected. Is it correct? So he says, what is the point of going there and wasting your effort and getting all this pain and then getting angry? So he says it is of vyartha. So vyartha means of no use. It's an effortless exercise. So krityasi, effortless krityasi means effortless exercise, effortless work in doing those activities which will make you non-accommodative. Is it clear? So then, Sahishnu is a tolerant person, and Asahishnu is a very intolerant person who can get very easily angry just in vain. And whenever you get angry, you differentiate. You differentiate. So he's like this, he did this to me, that's why I'm angry. If he had not said like this, I would not be angry. So there's a differentiation between your expectation and his expectation. So there's a differentiation. So whenever you differentiate, there will be dissatisfaction, there will be division. When you don't differentiate, then there's no more dissatisfaction. That is what it says here, what Tvayi Mayi Cha Anyatra Eko Vishnu. Means see yourself and understand everybody of the same creation. They also got emotions. They also got angriness. If somebody gets angry, do not retaliate, because they are only venting their anger. They are only expressing their own limitation. They are only saying this. So you do not have to respond to every action what you say. Some people they say, see, if they say something, I'll respond to them. I will not leave. I won't go to fight. I won't do anything. But if a fight comes to me, I will not leave it. I will make sure that I fight. This also is not the right attitude. Because at the end of the day, you are only going to be affected more. See, other person, whether he gets affected, angry, etc., doesn't matter to you. You are interested in your happiness. You want peace. So if that makes you happiness, peace, you follow it. Even if the other person is getting angry by he's not talking to you, or you're not talking to him, it doesn't matter. So you got the idea, right? So this is what you have to, this is what it says here, that you have to manage this. Then, Bhava Samachittaha Sarvatra. So samachittam means samatta buddhi. So samachittam, samatta buddhi in karma yoga we saw. So samachittam means equanimity in mind. So sameness of the mind. Also in the Bhagavad Gita we call Sthita Pragya. So Sthita Pragya, Pragya means knowledge and Sthitam means steadiness in knowledge. So when the knowledge is very steady, then this knowledge always comes and knocks. So whenever angriness comes, the knowledge comes back and tells, why am I getting angry? Don't get angry. So the knowledge will keep on validating. That is why the Shastram has to be really flowing like a blood in your body. Always you should be there. Then only it will keep validating all the time. If the Shastram doesn't flow, as freely as in the blood in the body. Imagine there's a blood clot. What happens? Yeah, problem. But when the blood is flowing normally, you feel healthy, everything, skin looks good, your eyesight looks good, you are healthy, you're perfectly happy, everything's there. But if you have some problem or the other, some blockages somewhere, then you have breathing issues, you have diabetic, you have blood pressure, all sorts of things are coming. That's what it says here, that you have to have samachittam. It means having equanimity in mind. So Sthita Pragya means knowledge should be established steadily. Should always be available for recognition, should always be there. So here the jnani is being discussed. This particular verse is discussed about a jnani or vice person. So the jnani is a person who sees himself as the one in everybody else. He or she doesn't distinguish between people based on race, color, sex, creed, or anything else. He does not distinguish between anybody. Then, so bhava samachittaha sarvatra. So all. Sarvatra means everywhere. So may you see Ishvara in everything, is what it means. So may you see Vishnu in everything and be of the nature of samachitta. So the quality is given samachitta. So what are the qualities given here? Sahishnu, being tolerant. Then Vyartha Krupyasi, not wasting time on unnecessary things. Not wasting time on unnecessary things. Tvai Mayi Anya Atra Eko Vishnu. So seeing oneself as the Vishnu, as the Bhagavan in all of them. Third quality. Fourth quality is samachittam, having equanimity of mind. Then see tvam, that means you. Achirad adi Vishnutvam. So Vachyasya Achirad adi Vishnutvam. So what does it mean? Achirat means without any delay. So Achiradadi means without any delay. So do not delay. So don't wait for something to happen. Do not wait for one miracle to happen when you will be ready. Because these things don't come. All the miracle, etc. don't come. They are just your own experiences. See, any miracle or anything which is there, it is your own experience, or it is your own feeling of what it should be. So it says, do not wait. And it says, Vachasya. So he says here that, hey, nice person, do not wait for this, and Vishnutvam. So you are the Vishnutvam, and do not wait for things to happen. So the last Tvam Vachasya Achiradadi Vishnutvam means it gives that develop the qualities of Tvayimai cha anyatra ekaha Vishnu. Vyartam kripyasi, do not waste time in other activities. Become Sahishnuhu, that means become a person, a tolerant person. Bhava Samachittaha means become a having equanimity of mind or seeing everyone in the same capacity. Sarvatra, all. So may you become this. And do not wait for things to happen. So, is it clear to you, that particular verse? Okay. Then he says, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukkrim Karane. The next one, Shatro Mitre Putre Bandho. Shatro Mitre Putre Bandho. So Shatru means enemies or with an enemy. So Shatru means with an enemy. Mitre means with a friend. Putre means with son or daughter. So Putre means doesn't mean the only son or daughter. Okay. And Bandho means with your friends. Banda means your sakhas, with relatives. So Bandhukkal. So Bandho means Bandhuk. Bandhu Marga. So Bandho. So all your relatives, and even Bandhu means what? A person who is supposed to be a support. So your relatives, all of them are supposed to be Bandhus. Ma kuru yatnam vigraha santau. So never. Ma kuru means don't. Yatnam ma kuru. So you use the word yatnam ma kuru means don't keep wasting your time and don't despise them. So do not despise your own people. Don't despise your enemies. Don't despise your friends. Don't despise your son or daughter. And don't despise your bandhu also. That means what? Don't criticize them. Do not get angry with them. Do not get jealousy with them. All of them are there. How very difficult, right? How it is possible? He says that is what makes life easy. See, a person who is able to move around. See, if you look at the olden family, right? In the people who grew with a joint family in India, that person will be, one person among 20 people will be there. There will be at least 20 people in the family, and somebody gets, say, let's say, married into the family. Say, and that girl who is getting married into the family suddenly will be faced with so many people whom she has never known before. And imagine if you have, a very strong attitude, all the 20 people will come on you, not one person. Because so you'll have to be having a different, structure or something. Some attitude should be there to manage those things. See, now we are all in satellite families. We have got, individual things, people move away, etc. Then we are used to this kind of dealing with 3 people, 4 people, and etc. But sometimes, the old structures actually help the person mature very quickly. They become very old sometimes. At a very young age, 25, 26 years of age, they become very old from there. Because they see people, they learn quickly from everybody else. And they are able to adapt very quickly also. It has got advantages, disadvantages. But what it says here is that you will be among people. It's not that you will always be alone. You will be with friends. You will be sometimes with enemies, with your relatives and people, with your son and daughter also. So do not despise them. Do not get angry with them, or do not, have animosity towards them. So Vigraha Sandhav. So the Sandhav means Sandhi or peace. Sandhi means peace. So be peaceful with them, or try to establish peace, or try to be a peaceful person. So Vigraha Sandhav means even in you don't like them, but still do not express your disappointment with them. Just deal with them. That's it. So you do not need to point out mistakes. You do not need to criticize them, because it is only going to make them worse. You understand their limitations, and you work through the limitations to what you can help to make them better person. See, everybody has got their own problems. Nobody is perfect. When we grew up, our father and mother, were teaching us different things. We are not perfect, and we learned by what the parents, they taught us how to live a life, and they were patient with us. Same patience also we should show it to them, to our own children also. But somehow we don't have this. See, I was living like this before, like this. So you also should be living like this. It's not practically possible, because you are living in a different era. The children are going different era. They are exposed to so many things which you don't even have an idea about. So they are exposed to more things, more information, and they are much well read. So you'll have to deal with them differently. You cannot use the same yardstick as to how you get beaten in class if you don't do homework. You can't do that. You can't do it here. So you'll have to deal with it differently. So you'll have to adapt yourself, change yourself, not change other people. See, in marriage philosophy, we always say that you cannot change other people. You know that? You can only change other people by changing yourself. That means what? You understand what other person is like this, and you adapt yourself to suit the other person. That is the best way. On the contrary, if you go and try to change the person, it is not possible, because unless the person wants to change, it is okay. But if he doesn't want to change, or if it's difficult for him to accept change, then what do? You change yourself, and then you do live different. That is what it says here. Vigraha Sandhav. Sandhav means having peace. So have some peace agreement, like a white flag. Okay, we don't fight, or we don't discuss the topic anymore. Sometimes we have. See, when are they going to get married? Sometimes when they have the topic. So when you have a boy or a girl of age, right, and you suddenly ask the question, let's say, why are you so interested? Why do you want to know about it? I don't want to talk about it. You keep asking the same question 2-3 times, you'll get the answer. So what it means is, have a peace. Okay, I will not talk to you for the next 3 years. So after 3 years, I'll talk to you. So you have it. So have an agreement with them for many things, work-wise, about education-wise, about the interest-wise. What do you want to do? Even with relatives, even with relatives also, you deal with them according to that. So when you go and visit them, make sure you go and visit them. Talk to them nicely. Don't just criticize them or insult them. So all these are actually attitudes of dealing with personality-wise, because all they're trying to tell here is, by doing these activities, you will be better. He's not telling that other person is better or not. He wants us to be better. So one has to look after one own interest. That is why Vedanta is very selfish, because you cannot study for somebody else. Somebody else wants moksha, means he has to come and study Shastram. You cannot give moksha to somebody else. Everything else you can go. You can donate clothes, you can give happiness, you can feed the person, you can take care of person. Everything you can do. But when coming to understanding what freedom is, moksha is, you cannot give that to somebody. It is for one's own pursuit. That's why husband and wife, they got their own pursuit. Everybody has to follow their own things. Even though they are together in one family, they are following one particular lifestyle, but their dharma is, the ultimate moksha is different. So they all are following their own instinct of getting freedom. Right. That's what it says here. Vigraha sandau yatnam ma kuru. So yatnam ma kuru means don't waste time and effort. And don't keep away from your friends. So yatnam ma kuru means don't keep away from your friends nor despise them. So what it really means is you don't have any hatred. So when you say yatnam ma kuru, do not keep away or do not do this. So if you get angry, what do we do? I won't talk to the person. Or if you don't like the person, I don't want to visit him at all. Or if the person wants to come to your house, no, he should not come to my house. So we get all this, reservation, right? See, he will not. I don't think we get along very well. So I don't want to talk about the person. So these are all actually your own differentiation. So he says, you get over that. So have an attitude of accepting everybody and do not feel anything bad about anybody. So over a period of time, it will come. Initially, there will be hiccups. How it is possible? No, it isn't possible. I know you're saying Vedanta, everything okay, but still it is something which I can't accept. But what it says is that over a period of time, you should develop this. And this is what will give you peace. Because whatever people may do, whatever people may come, don't come, talk to you, not talk to you, you do not have any animosity to anybody. When they come, you talk to them. When you go and see them, you talk to them. So just be casual. Just do not have any particular preference like this. Then, sarvasmin api pashyatmanam. So sarvasmin api means in everyone and everybody. Sarvasmin api means in everyone and everybody. Pashyan atmanam. So pashyan means seeing. And atmanam means seeing oneself as the consciousness. Seeing oneself as the same in everything. So same thing we talked about here as, Tvai Mai Sarvatra Eko Vishnu. Same thing here also. Sarvasmin Api Pashyati Atmanam Sarvatrotsruja Veda Jnanam. So Sarvotsruja Veda Ajnanam. So Sarvatra means all. Sarvatra Utsruja. So Utsruja means remove. So Sarvatra Utsruja Veda Jnanam. So everywhere you see, you remove this difference called Vedam. Vedam means differences. So difference caused by ignorance. Another way of looking at this, Ma Kuru Yatnam, the word indicates also, do not waste your time in trying to win the hearts of everybody. See, I want to please everybody. See, I want my son to respect me. I want my daughter to respect me. I want my relatives to see me as somebody great person. I want to prove that I'm something very important. So you do a lot of prayatna. Right? What is this? Ma Kuru Yatnam. don't waste your time on making yourself known or proven that you're the best, because it is not really going to work. You may try to do this, when you try to do something else, it will affect somebody else. Because always people are different. When you like somebody will go to dislike also. So do not spend too much time on this. You do what you can, but at the same time, try to develop the attitude of sarvasmin api pashyat atmanam sarvatra utsuja bheda jnanam. So remove the differences in, looking at differences between everybody else. So that's what it says here. So try to be, a steady person. So being a steady person means like understanding what qualities you are. I also got anger. So when I am getting angry, he can also get angry. But if you say, I can get angry, he should not get angry, this is not correct. Correct. So when you say, I can get angry, I can get, desire, the other person also can get angry and desire. Because he also is the same product of Prakriti only. He is also governed by same ahankara. He also has got the same, but in varied quantities. He may have different things what you have. He may have a different, interest in what you have. But at the end of the day, he also is the same products. So you understand that. So when somebody reacts, you understand it is from his standpoint of view he is talking about. This is not person from your point of view. He is talking from his standpoint of view. And if you take it as personally that you are getting attacked, then it becomes your problem. So try to reason it, try to see, and then just deal with that. So quite a few things in this verse. It talks about dealing with anger management, dealing with expectations, and not wasting time on something which is not going to give you productive effort. That's what it says. Sarvatra, so Shatru Mitre Putre Bandau Ma Kuru Yatnam Vigraha Santau. Then Sarvaspin Api Pashyatmanam Sarvotra Utsuja Veda Jnanam. You got the meaning of all the words? Okay. Then Bhajagovindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Samprapte Sannihite Kale Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukrim Karani. Okay. Next we have 26. Kamam, Krodam, Lobam, Moham. So out of the Shadripuhu, or the 6 afflictions, he talks about 4. Kamam, Krodam. Kamam means desire. So it is not the other Kamam we talk about, any desire. Kamam means any desire towards anything. Excessive desire towards anything. When you are governed by Kama, at that time, the concept of right and wrong doesn't come to you. If you just have a desire, it is okay. But if your desire is actually uncontrolled desire, and your desire is so strong that you have, in such a case, the desire overtakes your thinking process of what is right or wrong. You will do what you think is required to get a desire done. Is correct? Whatever it may be. It may be that desire what you do will be affecting some other person, but you will know about it, sometimes you don't know about it. And even if you know about it also, you tend to turn a blind eye. Because see, if I start looking at other people, then what will I get? So let me get this first. Right? So this is called Kamam here. And Krodam, anger. Lobam, greed. And moham means excessive attachment, excessive, emotionally entangled person is moham. So kamam, krodham, lobham, moham, tyaktva means leave. So tyaktva means leave. Or you must leave those things. Tyaktva atmanam pashyati soham. So aham. So when you leave these things, when you're able to manage these things, see, when you say tyaktva means actually renunciate. You cannot leave those things. You can only manage those things. So tyaktva means managing is better. Or give up the uncontrollable kama. So when I say tyaktva here, he talks about give up those uncontrollable kama, uncontrollable krodham, lobham, moham. So it is okay to have a little bit of anger. You cannot say that I won't have anger at all. There is nobody, if somebody says, I don't have anger at all. I never get angry. He's all talking all wrong things. It is not possible for even the most jnani also will get angry sometimes. But he will not express it. He will know the anger is about to come with this gulp. Either he will close his eyes or he will walk away or do something, and then by that way it will subside. And the people who do not have control over it, they just blur. Immediately it will come out. That's what it says here. Tyaktva means give up those excessive desire, excessive anger, greed, and excessive emotional entanglement. Because they are the one which will bind you. So, tyaktva atmanam pashyati so aham. Then the next line talks about atma jnana vihina moodaha. So atma jnana vihina means what? The person who does not have atma jnana. So vihina means ignorant person. Atma jnana vihinam means a person who is ignorant of the atma jnana or the truth of one's own self. What is the truth of one's own self? Tvayi mayi sarvatra ekor Vishnu samachittam. All these qualities which we talked about before is atma jnana. And this atma jnana is not there. He says those people are called mooda. Mooda means they are deluded people. So deluded means they are ignorant people. Delusion means they are steeply engrossed in ignorance. They are very steep in ignorance. So what happens to them? Te pachyante. So when I say te pacyanti, pachati means cooking. So it means, or they incur. So pacyanti, the literal meaning is called cooking, or they get cooked. And what do they get cooked? Naraka niguda. Naraka nigudaha. They get caught in this naraka. What is narakam? There's nothing called narakam. Lokam is not there. Nobody is sitting there and waiting for you to put them in a boiling oil and then fry you like this. So there are lots of theories about, look at the Garuda Purana, etc. Study them, they'll tell you, if you do this, Yama will take you to this place, and they will actually take you literally from a physical body. They'll put you in oil, they'll fry you out, and they'll come back. When they study like this, they get very upset. What it means is, Narakam here talks about the samsara. The birth and death itself is Narakam for us. Can there be more Narakam than this, what we're going through? We think it is very happy, Swarga Loka here. But we are really in Narakam only because so many problems are there. In Sargaloka, there will be no problems. Unfortunately, we cannot be in Sargaloka. So Narakam. So it says what? Naraka means samsara or birth and death cycle. So Soham, when you say the word Soham, it's a Mahavakyam. It means Saha Aham, means I am that. So it's equal to Tattvamasi. So Saha plus Aham means the wise person sees the self. So Saha Aham, Soham. So if you go to some, the art of living, etc., they will say, you see this? Soham, Soham. They say like this. You seen that? You go to some class, they will say, Soham, Soham. They'll say like this. That is what they raise the hand with Soham. So it's supposed to be bring happiness. Soham. So pressure goes out. But Shastram says Saha Aham means it's not Soham. This Saha Aham means that I see myself, I am the self. And it also includes Tattvamasi. So the word means Tattva. I am that Supreme Brahman. I am the consciousness. So Saha means that Lord or that Brahman. And Aham means me. So that Brahman is me. I am the Brahman. That's why Soham. So say here, Kamam, Krodam, Lobam, Moham, Tyaktva, Atmanam Pashyati, Saha Aham. So Atmanam Pashyati means what? Within my own self, I can see my sense of my own truth. Atmanam Pashyati. So it is not Ahankara Pashyati, Atmanam Pashyati. That's why I told you before. When you say I am, you talk from the intellect point of view. When you say Soham, you talk from the Atma perspective. You also negate the intellect also. You remove the intellect also is removed because intellect also is an object of knowledge. Buddhi also is something which you know. So anything which is known is not the truth. So here, when you say Atmanam, we say here, that which is the self. And Pashyati means sees. So I see myself as the Atma, as consciousness, and I am this Sa Aham. So I am that. So the Mahavakyam is said here in this verse. But the people who do not have this vision, they are called what? Atma Jnana Vihina Mudaha. So they're called Mudaha, means the people who don't have this knowledge or don't develop this knowledge or not interested in getting this knowledge, they're called Muda. And what do? Those people, Pachyante, Naraka Nigudaha. So Niguda means they get caught. So Niguda means they get caught. And they get caught in this what? In Naraka. So they get caught in this samsara of life and birth or endless transmigration is called Naraka. See, Naraka can be ended. You can end Narakam by just understanding the Atmanam Pashyati. But if you don't understand Atmanam Pashyati, you become a Buddha or you remain a Buddha. And if you remain a Buddha or ignorant person, you get caught in this Naraka Niguda. So Kamam, Krodam, Lobam, Moham, Tyaktva, Atmanam Pashyati, So Aham, Asa Aham. Atmajnana Vihina Mudaha, Te Pachyante, Naraka Nigudaha. Is it clear?
You mentioned Kama, Krodha, Lopa, Moha, and what are the other two which is not mentioned here? No?
Mada and Matsarya. So Kama, Krodha, Loba, Moha, Madam and Matsarya. So madam means what? Like, you are really rampagingly mad. Madness. So madam means madness.
Oh, Madayanai we say.
Madayane. Correct.
Thank you.
So see, if you look at the step, see, first of all, kamam comes, desire. Then kamam doesn't get fulfilled, krodham comes, correct? Desire will lead to anger. If you don't get desire fulfilled, anger, correct? Then lobham, greed comes. Oh, I didn't get this at all, so let me get this. So you become greedy now, that I have to somehow get this. Very greedy. And when you become greedy, then you get to moham. So moham means now you get really infatuated with this. I have to somehow get this. See, it's all step by step happening, all of them. So if you remove in the first instance itself, then it's not a problem. But when you develop this over a period of time, then moham will lead you to what is madam. So madam means you become really mad, absolutely mad. You have no control at all about anything now. So you become madam. Then after madam, what happens? Matsaryam, jealousy. You now are, see, jealousy is one of the most difficult thing to, if a person is jealous, you cannot do anything about the person. You can control to some extent desire. You can control an angry person. But if a person is jealous all the time, jealousy is a combination of all the five before. All the five will be included in the person called jealousy person. You will find him to be kamam, you will find him to be krodham will be there, you will find him moham will be there, lobham, everything will be there. That's why matsaryam is supposed to be the dangerous one, and has to be taken care of. He isn't mentioned here, but matsaryam is the one which is the most dangerous one. It's called jealousiness. Is that clear? Okay, so are there any questions from today's class? Anyone has got anything? Aradhaji, you're okay?
Yeah, fine, sir. Thank you.
Sriramji, have you got any questions?
All good, Shankarji. Thanks.
Okay, so we will stop the class here. We will continue from next class. We should be able to finish Bhajagovindam next week. And then we will take up another text after that. We'll see what text to take after that. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste. Shubhratri to all of you. See, for tomorrow's class, who are attending tomorrow, we will be doing Veda Suktam. So I'll send you text before that. It will include chanting as well. People who don't know chanting, they can also come to the class to learn chanting. And it's a very small text, so we'll do that first. After that, we'll do the other suktams. We'll continue to do that. Okay. Namaste.